Welcome back, everybody. If you're up to date on True Social, Twitter, or any of the other social media platforms, you may have seen the words yum yum in their trending list last night. Well, after California Congressman Eric Swalwell tried disparaging a witness, our next guest went on offense. Take a look at this.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Rodriguez, I apologize that you had to. You're here for a hearing on the border. They don't want to talk about a border. Mr. Swalwell is down there. Obviously, everybody knows he's made some comments. He's got a checkered past. He's alleged relationships.
A checkered past?
I would ask. It's my time. Alleged affairs, relationships
past?
with
No,
Yum
sir,
Yum.
You don't get to say that. That's not
he had
true.
alleged relationships with Yum Yum.
I asked the gentleman's.
That was House Judiciary Committee member and Texas Congressman Troy Nehls. He joins us now to tell us more. Congressman, thank you so much for being here. A heated conversation with Eric Swalwell, I think.
Yeah, he was a little angry. You can tell he's a little angry. He probably has, some sleepless nights. I mean, but I would probably say a lot of this is self-induced, quite honestly, with his behavior. He gets a little frustrated. We were there for a hearing yesterday. That poor Miss Rodriguez was there. She was there to testify on the southern border. She's part of an advocacy group in the great state of Texas. And she was there just to talk about how this Biden administration's policies are hurting unaccompanied minors and children and adults, too. And he spent his 5 minutes on January 6th. That's what it was. I think he almost has a crush on her because he spent 5 minutes. He's looking up her social media. He was doing a deep dive into this woman, this Miss Rodriguez. And I thought, this isn't what we're here for. We're here to talk about the poor southern border and immigration. He didn't want anything to do with that. That's what the Democrats, they don't want to talk about that. Tried to go out and attack our witness. Shameful on him. Shameful.
Congressman, when I came to town 30 years ago, even when the two parties disagreed about the subject, both came seriously to the table to stick to the topic and do real oversight. It seems like the Democrats, since they've fallen to the minority, they're just playing the Biden defense lawyer's role. They're not actually doing oversight anymore. They're just playing defense for the White House. How big a loss is that for the American people?
Well, it's a huge loss, but I think the American people are realizing that this Democrat Party, Joe Biden, people in Congress, the Democrats have put the American people last. It's self-evident with the way we have turned we were energy independent under Trump. Right. I mean, whether it's the inflation, whether it's the fuel prices, whether now spending hundreds of billions of dollars into Ukraine, whether it's the poor southern border, whether it's putting suspects in front of victims. And you see in these large major metropolitan cities run by liberals and far leftists, they put the suspects, think about that. They put the suspects over the victims. Crime's out of control. There's a crisis on every corner in this country, and the American people are going to start standing up. They are. They're starting to pay attention. Again, Joe Biden's seeking re-election. I'm sending him $25. We need him to be our nominee. We need him to be the Democrat nominee because Donald Trump will beat him.
Well, and I think you're right. I think the American people are starting to take notice, even folks who might typically not be that concerned because of Democrats' rhetoric surrounding the border. And it's hard for people to ignore testimony of folks like Tara Lee Rodas, because one of the things that she testified yesterday about was her experience in Pomona, California, as far as these processing centers for children that she said are basically just they're actually sophisticated trafficking operations where you have these kids, these unaccompanied minors coming into the States, and then they're dispersed among sponsors who oftentimes don't have any relation to the child. They are oftentimes criminals, members of transnational criminal organizations that are using these children as assets. That was a very shocking thing that I don't think anyone can deny contributes to the problems at the border. Would you agree?
I would agree. And my minute or 5 minutes of testimony was all about the number of adults that are coming into this country posing as minors. Everybody's pretty much familiar with that case in Florida. This guy comes over. He's 24 years old. He murders his sponsor in Florida, stabbed him brutally and killed him. He comes over posing as a minor. Well, when you look at this guy's picture, he's got more chin whiskers than a 40-year-old. So I don't know how he got through our southern border, but he looks like a grown man. I don't know how he did it. And then I highlighted an article out of, I believe it was California, where a school district, they've got these children, these individuals in their schools, in their high schools, that aren't children, they're not 18 and under. They're 23, 24, 25 years old because they came in posing as children. So we've got some problems across our country. We've got a poor southern border. We have to address it. And it is incumbent upon the Republican Party to pass meaningful immigration reform as soon as possible and let the American people know we place them first.
Yeah, such a powerful message. They're waiting for that message. There's no doubt about it. Congressman, you're about accountability. As a sheriff, as a lawmaker, you have always insisted on accountability. We learned something important last week. We knew the letter from 51 intel officials was a ruse from the beginning, that there was no basis to claim Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation in 2020. Now we know it was connected to Tony Blinken, and the Biden campaign rolled it out to fake us and give a moment to Joe Biden in the debate. Would you support defunding any future contracts or security clearances for anyone involved in that letter?
Why wouldn't I? Especially if they knew what they were signing wasn't truthful. That is, this was all just to go after Donald Trump and to protect his son. So there should be some criminal liability there with these individuals when they're signing their name to a document and they know it's not true. I think they need to be held accountable. We were in a hearing today talking about the FISA and the FISA court and what it did to Carter Page earlier today. Right. I tell you something. This administration, going all the way back to Hillary Clinton, they have weaponized the FBI, the DOJ. You can't trust the FBI anymore. People should be concerned. We must hold them all accountable.
Yeah. Speaking of accountability, we've just got about 30 seconds left. I want to bring it back to the border issue, come full circle, because the Biden administration announced a few measures that they say will help. They're going to be more strict with enforcement at the U.S. border because they're going to open processing centers in Guatemala and Colombia. Is that going to help?
Oh, sounds like a campaign speech. He's now running for re-election, so now he wants to tell the American people he's going to be he's going to secure the southern border. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all misinformation. They own the left. They own the media. I tell you something. If you want to secure the southern border, the American people, bring Donald Trump back in 2024. He'll secure the southern border.
Yeah, I think you're right. That is definitely something he aims to do even further than he did last time. I want to encourage everyone to go pick up his book, Congressman Troy Nehls, The Big Fraud, anywhere you can buy your favorite book. Congressman, it was a great honor to have you here with us tonight. We appreciate you, and we've got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.